Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we continue reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 12. The name of the chapter is Devotional Service. So today we are supposed to read verses 18 and 19. Is it correct? Oh, interesting. As usual. Nothing is easy in this material world. I was told to speak on 18 and 19. Anyway, we'll speak on 17, no problem. Means it will be spontaneous. So, word for word first. Yaha na krishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati Shubha Ashubha Parityagi Bhaktiman Yaha Saha Me Priyah Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhaktiman yak same priyah Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhaktiman yak same priyah Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhaktiman yak same priyah. Synonyms. Yaha, one who. Na, never. Krishyati, takes pleasure. Na, never. Dveshti, grieves. Na, never. Shochati, laments. Na, kankshati, sorry. Na, never. Kankshati, desires. Shubha, of the auspicious. Ashubha, and the inauspicious. Parityagi, renouncer. Bhaktiman, devotee. Yaha, one who. Saha, he is. Me, to me. Priyaha, dear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. Please repeat. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Purport. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gain and loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of speciousness, of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Niranjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namaya Bhaktashatikam Jaladhara Shashivarnam Gopavesho Kishoro Sahachara Giravinde Kridamano Rajesho Nata Parajita Vesho Niva Pitam Bharadya Jagata Tanana Hetu Rama Krishna Natosmi. So, this is 12th chapter. For those who didn't study Bhakti Shastri, will remind that it's the middle section of Bhagavad-Gita, which is dedicated to bhakti-yoga, and it's concluding chapter of this section. So it concludes, it gives a summary of the whole section. And we're almost at the end of the chapter, and this part of chapter is listing the qualities of devotees. It started a few verses ago. Let's see which verse it started. It started from verse 13, and it will be concluded tomorrow by verses 18 and 19. And the last verse 20 will, day after tomorrow, give the summary of this chapter. So we are now discussing the qualities of devotees. And we'll mention it once, it will be mentioned, I think, in the next purport. Not directly, but it will be hinted that these are all external qualities of devotees. Yes, Srila Prabhupada will mention it in the next purport. How so? We can ask why these qualities are external. Because the only quality which is important for a devotee is, guess what? To be devoted to Krishna. Simple. So all other qualities are external. And as it will be mentioned also in the next purport, I'm sorry, I'm referring to it a lot because I was preparing for it. But it's relevant, it's still, these purports can be referenced from different verses because on the same topic. So there is quote from next verse from Bhagavatam, from 5th chapter. It's from 5th canto of Bhagavatam. It's from the chapter of the prayers of denizens of Jambudvipa. And this verse is quoted very heavily and extensively. It's Yasyasi Bhakti... sorry, my memory is short. I better check the reference. So it says, Yasyasti Bhaktira Bhagavati Kinchana Sarvar Gunais Tatra Samasate Sura Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahad Guna Manorathena Satidavato Bahi. It states that a devotee, if someone has devotion, then all the demigods with all their good qualities is manifest in such person. So this verse is actually conclusion for this whole section of this chapter about the qualities of devotees. That all these qualities, they're naturally manifesting in any devotee who is faithfully serving Krishna. It's coming naturally. just by devotional service, these qualities start gradually manifesting. So that's why these qualities are considered external. They're rather not external, they're secondary. They're secondary. It means they're not as important, and they manifest as long as this first and most important quality is manifest, devotion to Krishna. So this just shows us how important is bhakti. That if there is bhakti, everything else auspicious is following. So let's see what Prabhupada is discussing in the purport. So basically Krishna is using here contrasts. He is mentioning here all the time positive and negative, positive and negative. And he states that all these positive, negative things in material world are not important to devotee. Like here, Yona Hrishyati na dveshti. Hrishyati means rejoices. Dveshti means grieves here. Prabhupada translates as grieves. So there is no pleasure, there is no grief in this world actually. And a devotee, if he is deeply involved in thinking of Krishna and meditating on Krishna and serving him, he finally realizes this, that there is no pleasure and there is no grief in this material world. All this is connected to the body, not to the soul. This was discussed far back in the second chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. This discussion actually, Krishna practically started from this. That you are not body, you are soul. Krishna started from this knowledge to Arjuna. And then from this he developed the whole theory, the whole philosophy. So here is this first contrast. Who is not rejoicing and who is not lamenting? Oh no, it's next. Nashochati na kankshati. He is not lamenting, he does not desire. So no pleasure, no grief, no lamenting and no desire. These things are very closely connected to each other. Then Shubha, Ashubha, Parityagi. He renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. This requires a little clarification, because we also know that I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions it in his Sharanagati, that there is a section of Sharanagati called how it goes in Bengali. Again I forgot. My memory is short, sorry. But anyway, in English it goes like this, that to accept everything auspicious for devotional service and reject everything inauspicious. But these things are different here. It's not things which are auspicious for devotional service and which are inauspicious for devotional service. It's auspicious and inauspicious from the point of view of this material world. So we should not mix it up. It's all these things, all these contrasts are given from the point of view of material world, from the point of view of materialistic devotee, not devotee, a materialistic person. So all these contrasts are within this material world, and Krishna simply says that devotee is above all these contrasts, all these positives and negatives. It's not that we are completely impersonal and indifferent. Devotees are not machines. They also have all these positives and negatives, but they're from the different point of view. It's not positive and negative within material world. Positive is outside material world, and negative is inside material world. This is the positive view of devotee. So this is the meaning of Shubha and Ashubha, and that's why devotee is renouncing it. Then Bhaktiman. This is a very important word here, and here we'll touch a little of Sanskrit grammar. because we see here this ending man. It has two forms, depending on the form of the word. It can be man or it can be van. Actually, originally it's suffix vat, and according to the declension of the noun, it takes different forms. So here it's subject. It's subject case. It's first case according to Sanskrit grammar. So it takes the ending an. So bhaktiman. So what is interesting about the suffix vat, which here becomes man, is that usually it's translated as possessing something. But according to Sanskrit grammarians, they clarify it further. It's not just possessing something. It's possessing something either in complete form or in some special form. So it's not just any general possession. For instance, I have this mobile. But everyone has mobiles nowadays. There's nothing special about it. And I don't have all mobiles in the world. So I cannot be called mobile what, so to speak. It wouldn't work. Because there is nothing special about this possession and there is no completeness. So when this suffix is applied, we should know there is something special about it. So usually it applies either to Krishna or to some important personality. So if we say that Krishna is Shaktiman, same suffix is used, Shaktiman, man. It's same suffix vat actually in subject case. So what happens? Krishna is not just possessing some energy. Every living entity is controlling some energies. Even we, small, tiny living entities, we are controlling some energy. We are controlling this body to some extent, a little. But we do control. We do have some control, minute control. But Krishna controls all the energies. That's why he is Shaktiman. And he is also Bhagavan. Here it's same suffix used. Bhagavat. His actually original form is Bhagavat. So he has all the bhagas, all the riches, everything. He possesses everything. That's why he's Bhagavan. But devotees, we cannot say that they have all bhakti. Here it's a different meaning of the suffix vat. It's a special possession. So devotees, why they're so special? Because they have special devotion. They have devotion to Krishna. And it's unalloyed. It's something very exclusive and very rare in this world. That's why Krishna can easily call them Bhaktiman, Bhaktimat. It's very interesting. So Sanskrit grammar helps us understand deeper some small minor details, but they're very interesting actually. And Krishna concludes, Same Priyah. One who has such very special devotion to Krishna is very dear to him. So let's see what Prabhupada speaks. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gain and loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor is he distressed by not getting them. Interesting. What I like about Prabhupada purports, those who don't know Sanskrit, they may not realize it, but if you look in purports of our acharyas, previous acharyas, and compare them to Prabhupada purports, at once you'll see similarity. And it pleases me so much to do it because it increases our faith in Prabhupada. How? Because you can see that Prabhupada never deviates from acharyas, he just repeats them. And we know that mostly Prabhupada based his purports on Bhagavad-Gita on the commentaries of Baladeva Vidyabhushana. And let's see what Baladeva Vidyabhushana speaks in this regard. We will not discuss the whole commentary of Baladeva Vidyabhushana and other commentaries, but we will mention a few points. Yes.
Take the verse number 18 and 19 also.
Okay. So we cover both.
Yes, 18 and 19 also.
Anyway, we discuss. It's so closely related. Basically, I mentioned how to report. Okay.
So take 18 and 19 also.
Okay. Wow. Good news. We have to cover the 18 and 19 verse also. So anyway, we'll cover it. Don't worry. Everything will come in due course. So let's see what Baladeva Vidyabhushana speaks about this part. First sentence of Baladeva Vidyabhushana's commentary. Yah priyah putra shunyadi prapya nahrishyati. Did you hear the word putra here? Putra shishyadi prapya. So Prabhupada simply translated Baladeva Vidyabhushana here. Because what he says it, Yah Putra Shishyadi Prapya, who after getting a son or a disciple, Shishya, Nahrishyati, who doesn't rejoice? And Prabhupada says, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple. I like it so much about this comparison, because you read Prabhupada, someone may think, why Prabhupada put here disciples, sons? Krishna doesn't speak about it. Why so? He's making up something. No, forget it. Prabhupada is not making up anything. He just repeats previous acharyas. It's so nice. It's really nice. Let's continue. Nor is he distressed by not getting them. Simple. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. So Prabhupada is connecting this Nahrishyati Nadveshti with Nashoshati Nakanshati. He does not Hrishyati. If he gets what he wants, Kankshati. Kankshati is desires, and Hrishyati. Nadveshti, Nashochati. It's all interweaving like a cloth. So he is not rejoicing, and he is not lamenting. Very nice. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of inauspicious and sinful activities. What does it mean? Interesting. If he is a devotee, if he is transcendental, what kind of inauspicious and sinful activities we can talk about? He is transcendental, come on. His activity should be also transcendental. But actually, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna are not talking here about Parabhakti, Parama Bhaktas. He's not talking about supreme devotees in the spiritual world. He's talking about any devotees, even here in material world. He's talking about us. We may do something wrong, we may do something sinful. Well, sometimes we accidentally do something auspicious also. But still, Krishna says that we are transcendental. Wow. Don't take it for granted, please. And don't rely on it. But it's true that we are transcendental as long as we remember it. It's important. So, we have a lot of examples from Shastras. There was some story about, I think, a priest and a prostitute that lived next to each other. So this priest was thinking, oh, this prostitute, every night someone is coming to her. She's so sinful. And the prostitute was thinking, oh, this priest is so nice. All day he's worshipping the Lord. He's so advanced. He's so wonderful. And once, I don't remember what happened, maybe some fire or something, some disaster was there, something happened and they died at the same time. And what happened? This priest went to hell. And the prostitute went to Vaikuntha. Why? Because his meditation was all the time. He was meditating on her sins, and she was meditating on his service. So that's how someone's sinful activity may be not obstacle for being transcendental to it. So this prostitute, although her activity was very sinful, but her consciousness was transcendental, and she went to Vaikuntha. Very simple. Well, it's not easy, but it's simple. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Wow. This can also refer to one verse from Sharanagati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There is first section of Sharanagati called Atmanivedana. It describes surrender to the Lord. So in the last 8th bhajan, there is very interesting verse. This one I remember. Seva, Tomara sevaya sukha koe jata, dukkha kore jata, sevato parama sukha. So what it means? If I, while doing some devotional service, some service to you, I get some distress, this is parama sukha. It's supreme happiness to me. Why? Because he and why he explains in the second part of the verse. Seva sukha dukkha parama sampad nashaya avidya dukkha. So both happiness and distress in devotional service are parama sampad, their greatest achievement, their greatest possession. Who can translate closest sampad? Hindi and Bengali speakers. Can someone translate it? How you translate sampad? I'm doubtful what is correct translation. It's something very valuable, probably. I just cannot find the proper English word. Anyway, you understand. And why it is so important, why it is so auspicious. Nashaya avidya dukkha. It destroys the distress of ignorance. So that's why Prabhupada says here, he is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Because for devotee, any risk, any difficult situation in devotional service is just a source of happiness, because he is doing it for Krishna. Simply. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. End of purport. So I think we covered enough of this verse. So let's continue with the next. We'll just go through it quickly. because I think we don't have so much time. Yeah, it's already 16. So we'll not repeat the verse together. I'll just read it. Samakshatrao chamitre cha tatha mana pamanayo shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samaksanga vivarjita tulininda stutirmauni santushto yena kenachit aniketak sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo nara. Again, bhaktiman is mentioned here. It looks like a very important word. So, one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equiposed in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is infamy, probably, yeah? Who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Purport. A devotee is always free from all bad association. Sometimes one is praised and sometimes one is defamed. That is the nature of human society. But a devotee is always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress or happiness. He is very patient. He does not speak of anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he is called silent. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. Silent means that one should not speak nonsense. One should speak only of essentials. And the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. A devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not, but he is satisfied. Nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. He is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. He may find some repetition in the descriptions of the qualification of a devotee. But this is just to emphasize the fact that a devotee must acquire all these qualifications. Without good qualifications, one cannot be a pure devotee. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahat guna. This is a verse I already mentioned from Bhagavatam. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not strenuously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. So this is what we mentioned already, that all these qualities are supposed to gradually manifest in a devotee, naturally. There is no need to force them. Although some attention to your activity is not so bad. So if you notice some bad things in your behavior, it's good to correct it. But it's not necessary to make it the focus of your activity. Your focus should be Krishna. Let's see what Bhagavad-Gita speaks about this. There are also interesting things here, I remember. One thing, again, what we can get from the similarities of Prabhupada's purport to previous acharyas. We have here one controversial thing. What is it? Sangha Vivarjita. Here it's talking about Sangha. Prabhupada translates it in synonyms, free from all association. But in the translation of the verse, he clarifies it. who is always free from contaminating association. Where did he get it from? And he also mentions it in the purport, I remember. Where is it? Anyway, somewhere it's mentioned, I cannot find it. But we can see that Baladev Bhushan also mentioned it. Ku Sangha Shunya. It's not just Sangha Shunya, it's Ku Sangha. Ku means bad. It's this short word Ku usually is added to the word to indicate something inauspicious. So Baladev Bhushan mentions it. Ku Sangha Shunya. He is devoid of bad association. Why it happens? Because Krishna spoke to Arjuna. Now, he knows Arjuna is very intelligent. He will understand that it's not any association meant here. And Arjuna was intelligent enough, but Baladev Bhushan was compassionate. He understands that not only intelligent people like Arjuna will read Bhagavad-Gita. It's meant for all people of this Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, people are Manda, Sumanda, Matayo. They're lazy and unfortunate. So what kind of intelligence such people can have? Not much. So for them, Baladev Bhushan compassionately clarifies Kusanga, so that we don't misunderstand that we should go to Himalaya and keep silence, Mauna. About Mauna he also mentions, very interesting. Mauni, Yatavak. It's Mauni. He doesn't say that Mauna means silent. Yatavak means one whose vak, whose speech is vad yata. Yata means restrained or controlled. And then he clarifies it further. Sva ishtamanana shila va. So va means option, or. It's translated as or. So he gives two options, two ways to translate this Mauni. First translation is Yatavak, one who restrains or controls his speech. Means he as there is an advice for people who cannot control their emotions, who speak before they think. For them it's advised, count to 10 first. Before you speak anything, just count to 10. 1, 2, 3. By the time you get to 10, your anger will subdue and you will not speak some nonsense out of anger or out of stupidity. It allows you to think about what you are going to speak. So this is the meaning of Yatavak, restrained speech. And another translation is Sva ishtamanana shila. Shila means one who is eager, or rather one who is whose habit is like this, whose nature is like this. Shila means, again, difficult to catch proper English translation. Shila, who is inclined to do this. So, inclined to do what? Manana, Sva ishta manana. Manana means thinking, and Sva ishta means, Sva means one's own, and Ishta means desired thing. So Sva ishta manana shila means one who is inclined to think about what is dear to him. And here it means Krishna. Sva ishta also, there is all devotee use a lot this statement, Ishtadev, means the form of the Lord on whom the devotee is meditating. So Sva ishta manana means thinking or meditation on the of your worshipable form of the Lord, or the Lord in the form which you worship, which is dear to you, because different devotees have different Ishtadevs. Someone worships Lord Nrsimhadev, someone worships Lord Chaitanya, Lord Ramachandra, Vaikuntha Narayan, Dwaraka Krishna, Mathura Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, etc. So it's your meditation. So Mauna has two meanings for devotees. It's either restraining your speech, speaking only of something auspicious from the point of view of devotee means Krishna, and thinking about it. So either devotee speaks about Krishna or he thinks about Krishna. This is the Mauna for devotees. Interesting. Aniketa, here Prabhupada translate is having no residence. Bhagavad-Gita Bhushana says, Niyata nivasa rahita, no residence, verbatim. Prabhupada just puts it verbatim. Niketa moha shunya. Wow. Niketa moha means bewilderment about one's residence. Means choosing this residence but not that residence. Being in anxiety about your residence. And it's exactly what Prabhupada said, right? Where is it? Nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatial buildings. He is attracted to neither. Wow. This is heavy. Not yet probably for our level. We are not ready to live under the tree, but at least we can think about it. We have way to improve. So, I think it's already time to get to the conclusion. Maybe someone has some questions or comments. Please speak. So everyone is meditating on Krishna and keeps Mauna. Yes, Prabhuji, please. Hare Krishna.
He said that we should think always of Lord.
Yes.
So when we are always thinking of the Lord, so it helps us. We see that it is helping us. So I just give this comment. How the Lord is always helping. Just now I was reading about this Indra fighting with the tortoise. So he's telling him that we are just like wooden dolls, just like a puppet in the hand of the Lord. So as in life, he makes us dance. So this is that we say that there is independence. And here, last week he said there is no independence. It's the Lord is giving us everything, whatever we are doing, whatever we do, this is everything done by Lord. Nothing is independent. So we should understand that we are, when we are surrendered to the Lord, He takes care of us and He does everything. Whatever He likes, however He likes, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you handle me roughly or doubly, I am at your lotus feet. So we should understand this is everything is done by Lord. And when we understand and we surrender to Him, then automatically things goes on properly.
Yes. Thank you. Very nice clarification. Actually, it reminded me another bhajan from Sharanagati. Sharanagati, this book is very rich in conclusions. It also states that what can a soul do? Everything is done by Krishna. there in this bhajan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur addresses Krishna. So he says, everything is done by you. The only thing that a jiva can do is to desire. The rest is done by Krishna. Yeah, that's true. That everything is done by Krishna. We only can desire. We're like passengers in a taxi. We can tell the taxi driver where to go, but the real driving is done by him, not by us. So yes, that's true. Thank you. This is good. Very nice clarification. Anything else? So probably it's time to finish then. Thank you very much for your association and your attention. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol.